everybody.
Happy whatever day it is you're watching or listening to this.
Right now it's a Monday for us.
No, it's not. It's Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. I just lied. It's Two for Tuesday, Taco Tuesday,
Ooh.
whichever Tuesday you want it to be. It's just a Tuesday for us,
Recording
really.
Tuesday.
Blonde Vibrations Tuesday.
Yeah.
I am Eliz.
I'm Lilyemma.
And as we just said, many different ways, this is Blonde Vibrations, but
Champagne Whispers, episode 9.
9, I think. It's actually a part 2. So this is a big disclaimer, if you haven't watched part 1 of our, concert etiquettes, everything to do with the concert experience, we have part 1, which is available everywhere. Well, all, streaming services and also YouTube. So if you've not watched or listened to that, you need to do that first.
I mean, this would still make sense, but
it would.
We kind of went in a chronological order, so that would be a smooth listening experience.
Yeah, in the interest of what continuity.
Yeah.
It's actually not continuity, because if you have watched part 1, we look different and we're in different clothes. This is a new week for us as well. Yeah. We had some time off to reflect. You guys also got involved with more thoughts and opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
So
my contact lenses are bad, so I feel like when I'm looking at the camera, even though it's a big object, I feel like I'm not quite knowing where to look because my eyes hurt. So just a disclaimer, if I'm staring you down,
well, if they're not
because I can't
watching,
focus on anything. Yeah.
Then they're why am I being stared at right now?
They're not watching.
That's okay, because I can never actually see. This is again the YouTube experience one. I can never see us really. We have to focus this before, and it's really hard to tell if it's in focus or not. But also, if it's not in focus, shut up. Don't tell us.
Mind your business.
It's fine. Our editor will have told us already. Don't worry.
He was guys, I think it was a bit out of focus during this bit.
No, it was when we did the one with Caitlin. Bear in mind, we recorded 2 hours of content, and then she was like, "I think it was out of focus. There might have been something on the lens." And it's well, it's been 2 hours now, and Caitlin doesn't live in the city anymore. So what are we gonna do?
If only we had Becky with us to sit behind the camera.
If anyone in London is available, wants to sit behind the camera, if you have a lot of free time, then you can do that. It doesn't even have to be a lot of free time, an hour a week.
Yeah, I guess there probably would be is that we record during a weekday.
So we need someone with no plans. If that's you, get in touch. Anyway, like we said, this is part 2 of the concert culture etiquette.
I feel like we're just gonna have to get stuck in, because this actually wasn't supposed to be a 2-part situation.
We just talk.
One episode that we had to cut ourselves off of, so we're just gonna jump straight back into it.
Hopefully we don't have to do the same thing again. I don't think we will.
I mean, maybe a quick cover of what we did. We spoke about,
like you said, we went chronologically through.
So we were when to show up, queuing culture, camping culture.
That's it, right?
That's it. And we just spoke a lot about our own experiences. So actually, there was no reason for that to take over an hour.
Weirdly enough, though, in the time since that episode, we have been to 3 more shows, and they were all different types of shows. So, just to let you know, if you don't keep up with us on social media. Oh!
Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze.
Did you not? I won't bless you for no reason then. We saw Loyal Kana at Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
Huge venue, huge once in a lifetime, and we were sat.
It was crazy.
Yeah. A few days later, we did Holly Humberstone at Rough Trade East. Tiny venue, stud, meet and greet type beat situation. And then we did Coco in Camden for Easy Life / show. So all 3 different types of experiences.
Yeah, and also just before we recorded the first episode, we went to Dominic Fike.
We
did. We queued for.
We did.
That's you're caught up with us.
If you don't know anything about us before, know that we've done every single type of concert.
Yeah.
In different types of ways.
Yeah.
And now we come to today. And here we are. So, our next little segment was going to be, and it will be, does a crowd change your gig experience? And we have a poll. If you're new here, we do polls for these types of things to get you guys involved. And some people being Caitlin, who don't get what the poll means, I'm gonna ask you what you think that the
Okay,
most
then.
common answer was, like which percentage were. We talk about that. That's become our Roman Empire.
What, Caitlin not knowing how the
Caitlin,
polls work?
and I know she'll listen to this, but not in a derogatory way. We find it really like
It's
endearingly
so
funny
funny.
because
I'd
we,
like to know, like, do people who listen to every episode know how the polls work? Like,
mm,
is that just like in our own little world?
like, did we not really ever explain it? And then suddenly we're like, so what's the one? What is it? Surely we did explain it. I don't know. The three options were, which one is it? Yes, it's make or break. It has a small effect, but I can ignore it anyway. Or, I don't even consider the crowd. Show only. Two exclamation marks.
It has a small effect.
Do you know what? It was actually a tie.
What? That's such a trick question.
What? Maybe if I finish. What was it tied with? What was it tied with? The two were.
No.
Oh.
No.
What? I don't even consider the show crowd only.
Yes.
No. And I actually really am sorry because that one only 3% of people said.
Really?
48% of people. So not that it was 50-50, but if you had to round it, it was basically split between, yeah, it's literally make or break. And it has a small effect, but I can ignore it anyway.
That's crazy because you guys are normally like really nonchalant and like, I just let people do what they want to do.
That's also really interesting. Thinking back to part one, we asked like, what time you get there, and a significant amount of people, not the majority, but fair few people said that you get there after doors, which you would kind of insinuate from that you wouldn't care about the crowd, because if you come after doors, because you don't care what's going on in there. So what changes between showing up and you don't care, and then the crowd? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because what we normally do is because we queue, I expect the crowd to be tame and everyone respectful because we've all waited our time to be there and things like that. I get security in knowing that everyone there is equally as invested.
Yeah.
And you tend to find that, like, if you're at the barrier, you're going to know the songs, but you're going to be respectful. You're not going to be like talking over them and things like that.
Yeah. I think personally it does kind of, we've gone to a lot of shows this year where they are really like, they really like mean something to us. And in that case, it can make or break, because there's nothing worse than, like, for instance, Lana at Hyde Park. The crowd like really went for it. They were great. It was a stunning crowd. However, the streets will not forget when people spoke over chemtrails, because chemtrails hadn't had its moment on TikTok yet. And that is where, you know, if you really love a song but it's not necessarily like the crowd favourite, and then they're like talking over it, and it's like, well, what do you mean? Like, I want to enjoy that. Why are you talking over it? And for instance, as well, at Loyal Kana, some of my videos you can actually hear people's conversations.
Yeah, the guys behind us. We never spoke about that. The guys behind us. I don't know if we actually even addressed this. When Loyal first came out, they were being like, "Oh, there's not as many phones out that I thought there would be." So that we were quite high up, and there was this group of lads behind us, and they were proper like lads. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they all had like pints with them.
Yeah.
And we were there with our like bottles of Coke, like having a little giggle at some 0.5s. And they were like, "Oh, like, there's not as many phones as I thought there was actually." And then one of them was like, "Yeah, well, there's still too many." And then they just kept talking. And you know what? One moment was really funny when what even was it?
I don't know.
There was something like when Loyal had to redo the song. And we were saying, we were saying that.
Yeah. None of that made sense to you guys. They said something about like performing Homerton 3 times or 10 times or something, and then we were like 3 ways, 3 ways, and like that's funny.
It's really funny, but they did keep talking over it, and they kept making like jokey comments. Sorry, I'm playing with a pen. It's probably really annoying. And they kept making jokey comments, and it's like, I'm all for a joke. I'm all for a giggle. Like, Lord knows that we've giggled at shows before. I'm not saying you have to sit there and be like dead serious. Like Loyal Kana wouldn't even want you to do that. Like,
you do make jokes, yeah.
But it was getting to the point where it was like talking non-stop. Like, a new song would start and you're still talking, and it's like, well, if you're talking in between, that's fine. But like, a new song is starting, and a lot of his songs are like hard hitting.
Yeah.
Like,
They're not like jokey songs.
No, like, you know, if you were like talking over like, I don't know, watermelon sugar. Sorry, Harry.
Oh, Harry.
You can't even really see him today. If you were talking over watermelon sugar and being like, oh yeah, like, here's this funny joke that I'm making, I'd be like, you know what, fair play.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
if it's not
somebody
that
probably
deep.
would be upset if they hadn't heard it
Yeah,
before,
it's the
but
difference. It's the etiquette thing. Like, how far do you take it? What do you class as being respectful and
it's
stuff?
also, I think, to do with location,
Yeah.
because we were high up at Royal Albert Hall, and we obviously could hear more of people's discussions around us, because it's not going to be as loud as it is if you're on the floor.
If you were at barrier, you wouldn't really be able to hear someone else on the barrier talking about like doing Homerton 10 times.
Yeah.
But like this, you know, the way sound travels, it just physically is not as loud. So then you would hear things more. But then it doesn't make it okay. Like, I don't like it. Which I know is the
No,
point of what we're making.
and I
But
wonder if also they think it's okay because Loyal Khan is not going to know if you're talking over Homerton.
that's not fair on the other people. It's
Yeah.
not okay because then that also goes into the discussion of like, if you have, I'm gonna do quotation marks for the podcast, quote, worse seats, you don't deserve to hear everything as
Yeah.
it should be. If you have standing tickets on the floor and you're really close, you get that like undisturbed experience with Loyal Kana in this instance. Why? Just because we have these worse whatever tickets, yeah, the nosebleed tickets, why should we have to endure other people talking? Do you think, like, some people do choose to have those seats, first of all? Also, if you try to get other ones and they're the only ones you could get at the time because there's 10,000 people in the queue and they're the ones you happen to get and you'd rather have them, then not go. Why should you have to listen to people talking? And Homerton, for instance, might be literally your favourite song in the world, and all you want is to look back at that video and love it forever. Like, we do watch our videos back and want to feel the same as we did there. Why should we hear you talking about like what drink you're gonna get next, or like whether he's gonna bring out Georgia Smith or something? Like, it's not really that fair.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. But then it's also like you don't want to ruin your own experience by turning around and being like, shh.
Oh, and it's so cringe.
Yeah.
Like, I had an argument with Dominic Fike.
Yeah.
During Dominic Fike. Like, he was singing, and
it was so near the end as well.
It was really bad. So the crowd at Dominic Fike was really tame, and we were pleasantly surprised. And then I'd say maybe like 3-4 songs towards the end, this couple pushed directly in the middle. So we must have been like 3-4 rows back. We'd queued there since midday. Everyone in front of us had numbers on their hands. Like, they had clearly been, well, we had numbers on our hands, but everyone had clearly been there for ages. And this couple pushed directly down the middle to about, I'd say, like, second row.
Yeah, it was just around politics and violence.
Yeah.
And I know that really doesn't change the story.
If you know the set list.
Yeah.
You know the set list. And they were really tall, and we were saying, because we're both 5'8"-ish, and we were saying, like, the crowd's really small, and this tall couple has pushed directly in the middle. And I remember thinking, like, I think I even said to you, I'm really glad that wasn't to us, because I would have actually said something, but they're too far, because it was annoying me, and I was like, that's really mean, like, it's bugging me. And then their friend comes and tries and pushes in, and there were these, I want to say they were young, but they probably weren't that young.
They were younger than us significantly.
Quite, yeah. They were young girls. They weren't like children, but they were young girls behind us, and we had like a friendly conversation with them before Dominic Fike came on. And then
thank you for tapping my shoulder.
And then yeah, this tall man, they were all so tall, tried to push in, and he pushed Eliz first.
Yeah, I didn't know who had pushed me, because I try my hardest. If something's going on, I'm like, don't ruin it. And also, I really wanted to enjoy that song, so that's one of the ones that I was like, my favourite. But then I turn around to go beef, and then I'm like, oh, it's tall man. And I'm like, ooh, I'm a shorter woman, I'm not going to get involved in that.
I was already worked up, because I was already annoyed about the other two people. So I turn around, and I'm like, what do you think you're doing? Like, why are you trying to push? And then he was like, I'm trying to get to my friends. I'm not gonna lie, I said some vulgar language. Yeah. So I'm not gonna repeat what I said. But I was like, to paraphrase, I don't care.
IDGAF.
Don't push. That I actually don't care. You can stay there. They can come to you. I really do not care. You're staying there. You're not getting past us. And I didn't even know how the argument went on for so long. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what he said. The girls next to us start being like, ah.
And this isn't even the first time it's happened. I know that we would have spoken to you guys about like Reading Festival last year. Just to address that this has changed slightly.
It looks better.
What if people disagree? I agree. But
well, now people can't see Harry's like chin.
His glare. Yeah, I know we have told you about like Reading Festival last year, 2022. But we got into like numerous, not altercations in a physical.
Was there numerous?
Well, numerous with the same people
yeah.
in the Arctic Monkeys crowd. Like people like that, basically. It was a similar thing. They just want to get to a spot that's not like theirs, I suppose you would say. Like,
yeah,
you can't like reserve places, but if people are in that spot, you can't just shove them out the way to get there.
I feel like we should preface this as like we're not actually like argumentative people.
No.
We're not confrontational people, really. Like, unless we have to be. I'd rather be peaceful. I don't want to argue during a set. I don't want to like
no.
do that. However,
it's when there's other people involved that
yeah.
are like just literally being like taking the mick.
And the
like...
thing is that like I don't like when people go to concerts and they're like, we can push and get to the front. You know, even at Easy Life Coco.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was after the mosh pit, and that really tall girl was next to me who ran. See, this should have been my first sign. Is she ran through the mosh pit to stand with us, and then when the beat dropped, she tried to mosh next to me, and I was like, "Babe, we've all just been pushed out of the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, if you want to go do that, but don't do it next to me." And she said to her friend once it calmed down, "See, I told you we'd get to the front." And it's things like that. It's like when you're planning to get to the front. At a show like that, where we turned up like just before doors, and we were close.
Yeah, you
like,
should have just shut up
done
earlier.
that, and it would have been fine. You could have gotten that spot. You didn't need to push it in. And my other problem with people pushing is that they always target young girls, and like I will say that with my chest, and I will fight that case till I die. They always go for the young girls. And the young girls are normally the ones who have queued.
This is where I would like to out someone. Not out someone, but like... They were like, no, that's actually not what I mean at all. I mean, call someone out, but again, I don't mean it aggressively. I would
like to out someone.
This is the portion where I out someone. No, this is where I would like to suggest a small part 3, like a little small discussion. And I know Manny listens. I would like to do the difference between going to a concert as a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So Manny, if you are in fact watching this, I'm not outing you about anything. I'm in fact like enticing you.
It would be an honour to have him on the show.
No, it sounds like I'm being like, Manny, it's time to die. Like, that's not what I mean. Like, but yeah, because like you were saying, like people do target like young women and stuff. Yeah. So that's what I would like to go into, like the gender difference slightly. But I think, slightly going off onto my next point here, there is a difference between like a dead crowd and a rough crowd, because you don't want either. You want somewhere in between. You don't want rough in a sense of like argument. You don't want really rough in a sense of the moshing being literally too unbearable, because my points here, I put rowdy crowd, Declan McKenna, which I think we did talk about in the last one. And some of the crowds we've been in, even Easy Life, like you were just saying with the mosh pit, that was the worst. Like, we've been to a few of their shows, you guys know this, and like we always hate the moshing. That one on Friday was like no other. I had sunglasses on my head and I watched them do a flip and then like go back on my neck, and I was like, what just even happened?
I lost my like vintage ×2 leather jacket there, and I was like, no, don't actually like we gotta handle this, and then it was just at my own feet.
Yeah, and then you were just like, can I pick up everyone around you? Yeah, of course. Like, that's when it's really nice. Like, everyone in that zone had all been like victimized by the mosh pit, so they were all really nice. But
if someone tried to push in front of us, like just before they came on, and again it was a case where you'd clearly pushed through the entire crowd to get there, and she tried to push in front of the guy next to me, And then he was like, sorry, do you mind if I just stay with my friend? So
Hmm.
then I know she was going to do it.
Yeah.
Liz has such beef with this girl.
No. To call her out, I hate. I have such a pet peeve, and this is not concert related, it's anything ever. I hate when people are fake nice to get what they want to people that, like, won't really necessarily, like, not understand what's going on, because I don't mean it like that, but don't understand that it's fake nice.
Because people have tried it with us numerous times, and every time we're just like, oh, okay.
Like, I hate when people are fake nice or jokingly nice, or you're almost insulting someone but you're doing it in a nice way. I hate it so much, and I could see these girls doing it, and I just wanted to intervene so much and be like, you're not really nice, like, you're not being nice, you're mean, go away, like like empath taking over.
Yeah. Is there anyone else I was saying?
Yeah, carry on before I start crying.
Is that so she can push in there, and at this point she must have been again like 4 rows from the front.
You can
She had a
see
stunning view. Everyone in front of her was little. What more could you want?
nothing.
And ad libs over there.
Yeah, that's right.
And I could see her look at the gap in front of me, and then start shuffling, and I went, "Please don't take my gap." And she went, "Oh, I wasn't gonna, hun, don't worry."
You
and I was
were?
like, babe, I had the most stunning gap in front. I had a really hard week. All I wanted was a little gap in front of me and a little gap behind me so that I could breathe. Like, that's all I wanted. And if there was pushing, I had a little bit of like space where I could just step rather than like fall into the next person.
Don't lie about
And
it.
she was like, babe, I wasn't going to. And it's like, I saw you start to step.
Everyone knew you were going to take that gap. We both knew it. You knew it. We look in your eyes, and I know that you know. Everyone at the back knew. My mum knew. Everyone knew. Manny knew.
Jasmine was at home like, there's a girl trying to push in front of my vibrations right now.
Everyone's like blonde senses went on and was like, oh my god, they're being pushed. Like, someone's taking the gap.
Someone's taking Lilyemma's breathing gap.
Can you tell her that I've had coffee? Because I don't know why like, every thought is just coming out. And before we recorded, I was like, everything I ever say is logical. I scrolled on Pinterest, I was like, I don't say things without there being logic behind it.
What is it about?
I don't know. No, because right, we're not going to get into it, but she just wants someone to pick out her outfits every morning. And I was like, yeah, but you won't want someone to just randomly pick something. She was like, that's what you do. And I was like, hey, I logically pick out your outfit every morning. Like, there is logic behind everything I do, but there also add the caveat, unless I'm being goofy, then there is no logic. So this is the goofy modes. Anyway, that was such a big tangent, because the other thing I was going to say is you don't want the rough crowd, but you don't want the dead crowd either, because that can make a really weird experience.
I feel like we kind of like a dead crowd, though.
We
kind of thrive off it.
We like to be the silliest ones in the crowd.
Yeah.
However, I can picture, this was Big Weekend 2022, Lord, and I just think, Lord, Ella, that's her name, isn't it? Ella, you didn't deserve that crowd. I don't understand. I know we've spoken about this, but it's so the time and place. I put dead crowd. Why are we the only ones slaying for ribs right now? Ribs. R-I-B-S. Ribs. Like, that is the song of the decade.
And it's weird because melodrama is like British culture. And
she's like getting her like TikTok, whatever, like she's big on that. Why on earth is the crowd dead? Because, not that I understand, but I understand more. You know, the newer songs that haven't, like, it's a bit more it's a bit more of an acquired taste.
You know what, I can understand, and I don't even mean this in like a rude way, I can understand why Coventry isn't like buzzing it down to like Secrets from a Girl.
Yeah, because
like Solar Power hasn't hit Coventry. That's fair enough.
Coventry doesn't get the sun.
Solar Power barely even hit.
This pale Irish skin, it doesn't understand. No. It doesn't understand Solar Power. But we understand ribs.
Yeah.
Like Coventry, you are in the middle of the city. You are surrounded. Like, do you not? Is it not scary getting old? Like, is it not? Are you not feeling those things that she's feeling?
Yeah, it's
And
weird.
you're just gonna stand there? She's bouncing. We're bouncing. Why are you not?
Yeah.
You're the only friend I need? Is it just because we're the only friends we need that we just get
I
it?
think the crowd was almost still a little bit dead for Harry after Lord.
Why?
So we thought the crowd was dead for Lord because everyone was waiting for Harry, and it's true.
Yeah.
Everyone was waiting for Harry.
That's the downfall of anyone
However,
being for Harry.
Yeah. However, the crowd wasn't even super lit for Harry. Like, no one quite knew, like... I mean, at the time it would have been, like, as it was.
Yeah. And late night talking?
Yeah.
Just so weird.
Yeah.
And, like, you just don't want that, because then it's like, well, the word of the hour is weird. Like, then it's like, you feel a bit slightly more self-conscious, like, popping off a little bit more.
I think we've grown that we don't feel that. I think that's why we
but
like it
some
crowd.
would. And like, if you want to be singing, if you're the only one singing, then it's a bit more like, how loud can you really be? Because if everyone's chanting, you can really chant, and it's a stunning moment. But if you're the only ones doing it and everyone else is just there like, yeah, that's the Lord right there, then it's like, it's really difficult, because then you don't want to be like ruining other people's experiences, but then you don't want to be self-conscious because that's your own experience, and it creates like a weird...
Where do you fall on people yelling? You know, like, people yelling at Harry, like...
I suppose it...
Like, words and, like...
I don't know, because people being like, oh my god, or like, slay. Like, yeah, fair. Or do you mean yelling sentences to try and get their attention?
Yeah.
I don't know, because you know how Harry does, and we'll get into this with science, you know how Harry has the section for it. I understand the yelling there, but if he's trying to tell like a heartfelt story and someone's being like, look at my phone, look at my phone,
do my B-reel.
Yeah, then I'm like, he's like speaking, then don't do that. And I think if they're so persistent, then why? You're only there to get this interaction, you're not there to enjoy the music.
I did like when someone yelled Georgia at Loyal Corner.
Yeah, but
I wish you heard that.
That was... Well, yeah, I didn't hear it.
It was like,
but...
as the mute was starting, someone just went, Georgia! And you didn't bring out Georgia.
Me when I see my cousin. No one else can get that.
Leaking the family too.
It's okay. I think we have the same face.
You don't have the same surname.
No, we have the same face. So if you see someone walking down the street, kind of looks like me. It's Georgia.
Your brother. Or your cousin.
It's someone related. But yeah, my other thing that I had on my list to do with like crowds changing the experience is crowd phones, because it's another thing with like the dead versus rough crowd. You need like the balance with phones.
Yeah.
Because I noticed immediately at Dominic fight, like everyone was just phones. Like sometimes I could just see a phone instead of him.
Like that.
No, but is that the difference?
Coco wasn't really like that.
No, there's probably lots of like things that go into it, where people taking in Easy Life a bit more because it was their last one, or because they're smaller than Dominic Fike. Dominic Fike's huge on TikTok.
And it's like a big show for the fact that it's the first London show ever.
Yeah. And like Harry was so many phones. And Billy was so many phones. Like that's probably one of the ones that I've seen them most at, and it's like...
Yeah, and it was constant.
It's difficult because you don't want just phones in your face the whole time.
Yeah.
But then why should you be able to film and other people can't? So it's difficult.
I had this in my red flag section.
Shall we jump onto that in a little bit then?
Yeah, put a pin in it, guys. Think about it.
Consider it pinned.
We'll come back to this.
It is pinned. So the next section is to do with signs. And what? And we actually don't have like a question box, but we just did a slide along. I'm not really sure what the purpose is.
And we're like, wait, it's that.
What, the kids have missed you?
No.
Oh, well, that's
right in the middle.
It is right in the middle. I'll show for the YouTube people. It is right in the middle. So clearly, it is very mixed. Like some people are literally, absolutely, completely pro.
Not many people are no.
But then we did do general thoughts on science shows. Oh goodness! So let's go through what you guys said, and then we'll go with our ones. Okay. And it's also mixed as well. So someone said it's kind of cringe. That is true. Love it. but just for a moment, not the entire show. And that kind of is the running theme.
Yeah.
Take them down. It's a show for the entire crowd, not one person. Don't make it about yourself. Can block views, but also lots of fun. Can be fun. But if requests to take it down are ignored, it's allowed to get ripped out. Damn! I didn't even read that one before. Oh, imagine the power of doing that.
It's like, where was that, Harry?
What, when everyone was like,
Harry?
take it down!
And then there's just a video of someone just like...
You know what, Billy? Someone had like, it was just one person with a giant sign, and then all of a sudden all you hear is, get rid of your sign and take down your sign!
Everyone was saying it, and it was obviously in Leeds. So everyone had
take down your sign, take it down.
Take it down!
Take down your sign. Someone said, unless it's something special, they could be quite selfish. That one's really difficult because special is like subjective.
Yeah, like I could hold up a sign at Harry saying, I start my PhD in September.
Yeah.
That's special to me.
Someone could say, I didn't cry today. And one person could be like, that's actually pathetic. And someone else could be like, I meant it. Like, I just wanted to let them know.
I just wanted to let Harry know that, like,
things are okay. Someone said very, like, 50-50. Like, they are funny, but don't be blocking people's views. And someone else said, and this was well interesting, it's usually clout chasing, in my opinion, for attention. But sometimes it's okay, and it depends on the situation.
I have a funny sign story.
Go on.
I made a sign when I saw One Direction.
What did it say?
Oh, it was really cute. It was long. It must have been, like, long. And it said, thank you. And it had little cartoon versions of each of the members of One Direction and 5 stars. And it had fairy lights in it.
Aww.
For context, I was in the nosebleeds.
Oh, we had the same view, didn't we?
like, I could barely see them. They were ants to me. There was no way on earth that they were going to see that sign.
It's okay.
But I took it from my little village all the way to Wembley Stadium and held it up during 5 stars set. I probably gave up by the time it was One Direction.
Yeah. But you're still thankful for 5 stars.
See it.
Yeah. We've made a sign once together. I think we said this in the intro of the other one. We made one sign. I'm not going to get into who, what, where, and why. But we were at the barrier.
So we never held it up.
It was never up like this. We just held it over the barrier, which I think is a really good, like, compromise.
Yeah.
Have I ever made one elsewhere? I would wear a t-shirt. Did I tell people this before? I can't remember. To one of my 5-star shows, I'd already been to a 5-star show before. And I had a t-shirt of me. It was like Inception. I had a t-shirt with a picture of me at a concert on it, wearing it to a concert. And it was like, my dad made it. It was like the 5 Sauce logo. But me and my cousin were in it. And my dad went through a bit of like a t-shirt making face because he also made. I went through in like a Nirvana phase. So the 4, like Nirvana, like the, you know, the logo with the baby. Yeah. The baby's face was me.
You like the baby?
What do you mean?
I thought you didn't like the baby.
Like now, I find the baby a bit weird, but like I would just really like.
You put your face on the baby.
Yeah, like in a non-weird way. Like he just like started to make me into like a t-shirt.
Does he want to make fun vibrations merch?
He probably could.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so my thoughts are, I said, in theory, yeah, fine. Bit of fun, you can have a laugh, and they are enjoyable to make. Like, that's also, it's giving, like, the friendship bracelets at Taylor at the minute. Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
For a lot of people, it's not even the fact of, like, holding them up. It's, like, coming up with a funny idea. Like, the picture I used for the poll was, like, the kids have missed you. That's obviously for Jack Harlow. Like, that's funny to some people. And not saying that it's not. Like, that wasn't a dig. But, like,
the listener that made that sound like
like that's funny to some, I guess. But like you're making this, and we were even looking through Pinterest like when we were like researching for this, and some of them are funny, like, they do make you laugh. And this, well, I'm not gonna say who it is, but there's one person who made a sign for some people we know, and we go on their story highlight a lot and look at it, and it without like it's the funniest sign that we have ever seen. It is the most humorous. Like, it gets us, like, belly laughing every time because it is just so funny. If you can't see us right now, she had her head in her hands.
I'll cry. It is
Like,
literally so funny.
it's so like clever, but at the same time, what on earth do you mean? And it's the sort of thing that in our heads we would make, but we couldn't execute it like that. Like, it is so good. And I'm like,
I
did you?
might start making signs for like our friends' shows.
Yeah.
Like, when I turn up to Strawberry, like.
Oh, that'd be so good though.
Yeah.
If we ever do an event, make us signs. Oh, yeah, sign making contest.
I think, I wrote that it adds to the community.
Yeah.
It extends the concert experience. When I made my one for One Direction, that was like weeks. It took me so long. I painted the background black. That's so Holly.
Yeah.
Like, I had painted the cardboard black,
Mm-hmm.
which meant I had to do multiple layers. So I would come home from school and I would paint this piece of cardboard black. I must have multiple nights a week.
It's cute.
It's like the run up to the concert.
It's giving 12 days of Christmas. Add something new to your sign every day.
Yeah. And I think neither of us have ever been on stage in that capacity. But I imagine it's quite nice being able to have like communication with people.
Yeah, definitely.
And like also like a lot of people now dedicate time to it. Sabrina did.
Harry obviously did.
Yeah, Jack did.
Yeah.
Thomas loves talking to his fans on stage.
Yeah.
Like I think people like it because it feels like you're less just speaking at people.
It makes it two-way. And for even Harry, someone of that level, like huge, to be able to talk to the people that actually are spending all day, all night, like camping aside, whatever, they're putting out so much time, money, and energy. It's nice to almost like not give back as if it's like charity, but you know, like talk to people. If someone's like, I just got engaged, to be able to be like, how did you meet? Like, that's crazy. Like, wow, congratulations.
Yeah.
Or someone's like, it's my birthday, and then everyone sings like, it's sweet.
Can I do the intro to As It Was?
Yeah.
Like, it's cute. It makes for sweet moments. I agree that it is a lot of clout chasing, and I think what I sometimes find weird is like TikTok clout after your sign gets noticed. I find that really weird. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes.
It's kind of the difference, and it's hard to tell when you just look at someone with a sign. Do you want to be noticed and you want to have that genuine interaction, or are you doing it to say that you've had it? Like, are you doing it because you know that everyone's going to film you and be like, lol, that was funny? Like,
there are also some weird ones.
There's some inappropriate ones, and that's when it can get really strange. And it does depend again on the artist and their boundaries. At our Jack show, someone had a really inappropriate sign. Do you remember it? I said what the sign was, so I'm not going to say it to you guys. And he found it funny.
Yeah, because that's the kind of person he is.
He made a bit of it. But
if Harry had that...
Yeah. You can sometimes, sometimes there's different boundaries for Harry.
I think there's something, like, a bit weird about, like, holding up an inappropriate sign while he's, like, seeing, like, boyfriends.
Yeah.
And he's, like, seeing that and he's like, What I was thinking of as well is when people were holding up pictures of Taylor's grandma during Marjorie. Where do you fall on that?
I understand that it is all with good intentions and not to bulk together the grandma and inappropriate signs, but the artists, you have to think that they are real people with real feelings, and whether it's something sexual or something really deeply emotional, they've not asked for it. So whatever you're putting up, you are just imposing on them. So if they don't vibe with that, they don't have to, because like they didn't ask for you to. You know, if they're like, bring a sign, say whatever, say the funniest thing that comes to your head, or like, this is a special one tonight. If you want to do something in like memory or whatever, you can. They're not going to do that, but like then it's different. But I don't know. I understand why fans would do that. The Taylor one, but then like it can either be received really sweetly, or someone could be like, "That's really put me in a sad mood for the rest of the show now." Yeah, I understand why you did it. Like no one's ever going to be like.
I think I'd be a bit creeped out.
Yeah.
Like I think I would be if like. It's that whole like fan artist relationship
that you don't know me like that,
and I think I would be weirded out the thought of like someone printing loads of pictures of my grandma, and then handing them out, and now all of these people just have pictures of my grandma,
and then I know that the argument back is, well, you made a song about it, so we're just relating it to the song and like taking it and making it special in our own way, which, yeah, whatever. And again, I'm not sure how I could deal with that. And also, like, I don't know, again, if this is the gender difference. If we were doing a show, and I know we would just like make signs, yeah. If someone made a sexual or inappropriate sign, that would make me feel unsafe, personally. I wouldn't like that. Like,
yeah,
it wouldn't make me feel happy or want to do something again.
I wouldn't be able to read them.
Well, yeah, that is
Like,
something.
I wouldn't, like, not even vision-wise. I just feel like
Some of them
I'd
are
be
unclear.
so overwhelmed.
Yeah. So some people have like a blur when they go on stage anyway, so even if it looks like they're looking at your sign, they might not be. I don't know.
They went out without the glasses on.
Yeah.
Can't read your sign, but you're stood there like...
yeah, go on then, woo!
Oh my god, they looked at me!
Like, the worst case scenario would be the artist looks and they've not read it, but they're just like, and they've accidentally thumbs up something really, really bad.
I was having a bad day today.
Woo! Go you! But yeah, I said that like you were saying before, that I like the designated time for people to have them up, because it's really annoying for anyone behind, and most of the time it is people towards the front, which means a good section of people are behind you, to have them up every time the artist comes past, blocking everyone's view. It's jarring, it's rude. And then also, if you're really far back as well, I said, why? Like, what are the chances of interaction if you're that far back? I'm so sorry to you in the nosebleeds with your... I'm sure you were very respectful, because you don't give, like,
I was a child.
annoying...
Like,
yeah, like, why is your chance of getting this interaction for 2 seconds more important than everyone behind you's entire experience of the show? Because the worst possible case would be, like, someone is behind you, they could have paid upwards of like 200, 300 dynamic ticket pricing, so much money on this ticket, to be blocked by not even being able to see what it says, the back of it.
It's normally like an Amazon parcel.
Yeah.
Like, it's your address.
All they see is the address, and they're going to remember that address and then throw tomatoes at your house.
Yeah, we had this at the most recent Love on Tour. Is that someone, and this was the weirdest thing, is that I feel like Harry is one of the ones that you do think of when you think about signs, and it has a set section, and he says, if you bought a sign, now's your chance to put it up. And everyone puts it up and you can't see anything, but everyone's doing it, and then he picks one sign and reads from it, or a couple. But this person was putting it up during like satellite, and it's like, oh,
no, what you get, he's actually singing right now.
Like,
that's probably the difference. Like, having it up during songs, you know, unless it relates to a part of the song, you know, like...
Yeah, or like pose for the camera, so you can just be like...
Yeah, or, you know, like, sometimes he'll do a certain thing at some shows during a song, sometimes he won't, and you want it to be in the signs, like, can you do this? And then you have that during that one song, but then obviously the moment's gone, so you won't do it anymore. Like, I get that, but if he's actually, like, running past, dancing or whatever, and then you put it up, like, he's not gonna stop the entire thing.
Like, oh wait,
Happy
this
birthday.
guy just went through a breakup.
Yeah, like, damn, everyone be like, boo. Like, I don't think he's gonna do that. So that's where it is, like, more clout chasing, I suppose, as well, and just, like, annoying. Like, going back to the Billy thing, like, that actually was annoying, because then people are trying to, like, really connect to the songs, and also they can't film or see anything.
I still didn't know what the sign said.
I have no idea what it said. Something stupid, probably.
It had lights on it.
It did have lights on it. And that is more annoying as well, because if you're trying to really concentrate on a song and you just see flashing next to you, like, that's really jarring. And, like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have anything else to add to that. It's just, like, the time and the place. I do understand why everyone else is kind of a bit 50-50 about it. Because if you really have something to say, yeah, in theory, like, it's a free world, say what you need to say. But you have to think about other people around you. And if you're not doing that, then that's just disrespectful, like, in all aspects.
Definitely.
Is that, like, a good...
Yeah, I think that's a good closing point for that.
Alright, cool. Good to know. So we'll go on to the next one, which is etiquette red flags in general. So for concert etiquette red flags, we have a lot, actually. I'm going to read some out.
You read first.
Pulling on your ponytail, Eliz.
I actually don't know. Well, I know I'm not a Liz, but like
The thought of someone pulling on your ponytail, that is
I
actually
always
very...
get people pulling my hair. The other day I had someone film with my hair. That's probably why that random bit of hair was short yesterday. I had someone film and they had my hair in their hand and I was just like move and they were like, oh sorry. And I was
So,
like, oh.
also, same night, someone had their arms over me like this recording, but it felt like I was like whining on them or like in a headlock or something. And I'm like, why? Like, you know, but some people almost have their like arms like resting on you as well to film, and it's like, I'm not a tripod. Go on.
First need to get to the front. Girl, that angers me so much.
Um, camping and being wasteful, also being pretentious about what time you got there. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, this Billie Eilish Leeds Festival. Everyone, did we talk about this in the last episode?
I don't know, it was Snoop Pop.
These people behind us got there after us, so we got there.
We got there at
So
like
Rena,
3, right?
Rena,
Declan, Steve.
Lacey. I don't know why no one's getting surnames. And then Billy. So we were there for quite a long time, unintentionally. We weren't trying to get to the front. We just had our nice little safe spot that it was quite spacious and we were near a barrier. So if anything went wrong, we were by the side barrier. And that's what makes me feel better. I don't like being in, we spoke about this in the last episode, I don't like being like fully submerged with people.
Yeah.
So we just stayed there because we had food before we got there and whatnot.
And like the lineup was good to warrant us.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to see.
If it would have been like, because the next day when it was in 1975 or the day after, this is why things changed up a bit. Because it was like, well, Holly's on one stage, but Arlo's on another, but Sench on the other, and then it's 1975, so it was very back and forth.
But this one was just all on the same stage.
Yeah.
So we were there for quite a while, and these people came a little bit after us. Sorry, the camera cut out, and then we got distracted with our house pay.
The card was full, but we're back.
So people were rightly so holding onto the side barrier. At the time, people didn't know Billy was going to run down there, but I assume it was just like a lucky guess. And these people, for it must have been at least 2 hours, we're talking to these people being like, how long have you been here? Like, oh, like, I just really want barrier. Like, I just really want a barrier spot. And obviously at that point, no one's leaving barrier.
And you would have thought that they'd never seen her before as well. Like, the way that they were, like, so adamant, they were like, we need to, it was like, God, like, you clearly have been, like, a day one, you've never seen her before. But the crazy
thing is that they were second to barrier.
Like, it was the same view.
Yeah.
And then, like, later on, when they were just talking to other people, they were like, yeah, this is, like, my 5th time seeing Billy or whatever, and it's like, wow.
Oh my God, like, how many times have you seen her? Like, flexing how many times they've seen her, and like, oh yeah, I went to this show and it was amazing, and I went to this show and it was amazing. And it's like all 4 people making friends, but you know, when like, I think this is what this person was saying, like,
pretentious.
It's just a little bit too far that you're trying to be like, I deserve barrier, I deserve a better view because I...
Like a bigger fan, because you could flip it and you could be like, okay, you said you've seen her 5 times, so why don't you let the people that haven't seen her go in front? And you have the same view anyway. I sometimes feel
this way about the Love on Tour pods.
Yeah.
And I know it's a really toxic way to think.
Because if you have the money and you buy it, that's yours. Like,
but we have tried so many times to get a pod. I've done every pre-sale.
And it feels like the same people every time get it.
Yeah, and somehow people do pods every time. And we tried so hard. And we just could never get it. And it wasn't even like it was... Well, it was too expensive with the dynamic pricing. But on like resale and things like that, it was like... It wasn't like they were too expensive. They just weren't coming up. Yeah, people are always in a pod. And I'm like, I don't know what your secret is. You've done it so many times, I just want to be in a pod once.
Yeah, and like just because you have been there for longer, or you have going back to camping in the last episode and what this person said, like, or if you've been there since 2, like, doesn't make you a better person. Yeah. You don't have more entitlement to have a better, well, in a some way, yeah, a better view, but if you have that better view, you don't get to like brag about it. Like, yeah. Just because you're at side barrier doesn't mean you get like bragging rights over the people that are 3 rows back. At the end of the day, it's the same show and the same experience. Yeah,
but I do think there's a very, like, it's very competitive and it's very just
toxic.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't know if it's just because we're older now. I don't want to talk to people in crowds unless it's like a brief little like giggle. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like we had like a quick little giggle and then everyone just minded their own business. I don't want to talk about like, oh, how many times have you seen them?
Yeah.
Like, like, what's your favourite song? And I understand that's part of the community, and I understand some people go and they want to make friends and things like
Yeah,
that.
like if you've gone on your own and you want to bond with people, the number one thing to bond with someone about a show is the
It's the
show itself.
artist,
Yeah,
but personally,
it's not for
I
us. But then
feel
we're
like,
with each other.
yeah, I
So I
feel
don't
like
know.
I don't,
We just talk about our own thing.
yeah.
So someone else said leaning on other people. I think they mean like physically leaning. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that is facts.
Like
Like
the-
if it's so cramped, the
yeah.
thought of people being like on you, no.
Awful.
Pushing back if you get knocked, usually it's no one's fault, so unjustified. That's really that.
That's like David Beckham.
Yeah, it is. That is like, yeah, I understand, but then it's really also hard in practice if someone has pushed you to not do something back. And I'm not
If
saying
someone
pushing
starts
back is
trying
good.
to like barge in front of me, I'm leaning against them because it's like you're leaning on me, I'm gonna lean back, and then we can both stand straight.
Yeah, I'm more likely to just hold my ground a bit more if they're trying to push me.
Yeah.
Someone, oh my god, this was at the Easy Life crowd. I don't know if you could hear this. So someone's friend was in front of us, and then two friends were trying to get through, but I recognized the one person from just walking in. The other two weren't there. They'd obviously joined from later on, and they couldn't get through. I didn't realize that they were trying to get through me, and they, in a like Scouse accent, were calling me "See you next Tuesday."
No
Yeah, and I'm like,
way.
I didn't even know. It was only after when they pushed through and they're like, oh, finally. I'm like, oh my god, I did not know that was about me. Like, I didn't
Who was
know.
it?
Just these two girls.
In front of us?
Yeah.
Beforehand?
Yeah, wait.
Really?
Yeah! The way that you'll still be able to hear that. She looked like Jasmine.
No way.
Yeah, how
I
weird.
would have kicked her.
Well, there was no point. Like, what is the point?
Nasty girl. The crowd wasn't even big behind
I
you.
know.
Like,
it's crazy. But like
you could have tapped and been like, sorry, that's my friend there. The crowd had literally just been let in.
yeah.
Like, you weren't particularly like...
Then that actually moves on to
Yeah.
the same person said at a different point, which was saving a space for someone.
This is
That's
sticky.
difficult.
This is sticky because it's different. So Eliz saved my spot at Barry of Jack Harlow. Eliz spent extra on her ticket to get early entry. I had work.
I cut my classes so I could go because, again, this was like a Dominic fight thing. Like, if you really like someone and it's once in a lifetime, you'll just do more for it.
Yeah.
So I queued and got barrier, and then I let her come through. But I had told the people around me,
Yeah.
and that is the difference. Like, I was talking to this girl, and she was like chill like that, and I was like, just so you know, like, because we were both on our own at that time. I was like, my friend's coming, but like she couldn't like come till later. Yeah, so she joined me later, but like we had this discussion, and I even said it to the girls the other side of me, like, just so you know, someone's coming. I'm taking up a little bit of extra room for that, so that they're not taking your spot. I have that spot already.
Yeah.
But then,
and at other shows, if someone has to leave, we tend to ask the people around us, like,
is that
she's
alright?
going, can you just make sure this space stays? Because it's really hard as a pair.
But then, two other people that we know were going to that concert, and they were like, can we come to you? And I said, I don't think that's gonna fly. Like,
yeah, because I barely got through, and I got through like maybe like 10 minutes after doors because I was in the queue to get in.
Yeah.
And people were really not happy about it, and I was like, no, like, my friend's there, like, she's got her wristband up.
Yeah, and I said to these two girls, I was like, I'm not fighting for you. If you want to try and push me, that's on you completely. But if you get kicked out, I can't take responsibility for that. I've not pre-warned the people around me that that's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people to be like, I've gone on my own, but 10 people are about to join me. And you all have to be fine with that because I was here before you guys. Like, I don't think that is fair.
No, and also it's a bit different. We've been in queues before, and then people have come and met us, and it's normally a couple people, and it's like, well, we've literally been in the queue since midday.
Yeah.
And we were the only people in the queue for about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, realistically, we can bring 2 people in because we've just sat on the cold floor for 6 hours. And like things like that. I think it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I think the problem is if you do it wrong and you do it disrespectfully.
Yeah, you take it too far with things, because realistically we just goes to things us two. If she has to queue, because we were going to do that for Dominic, you were going to queue because I thought I wasn't going to be able to get off till 4 and we wanted to go earlier, which means I wouldn't have got there till like 5. And like that would have been fine because you would have said to the people, you know, like, I'm not here on my own, but one other person, and one person's like width isn't going to take up that much room.
Sounds silly, But if the people are of your height,
Mm.
you know, if like I brought like Harry,
Or like a 7-foot monster.
yeah, and like I got centre barrier, and then Harry, 6 foot, comes through, pushes past everyone. There's a little like 5'3" girl behind me, and he just stands in front of her, and he's not cute. And this girlie had like McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because she was in the queue,
Then
and
you have to
Harry's just
consider
gone
it.
and stood right in the middle. That's a bit different. But
Yeah.
if you came,
It's
it
not
doesn't really change
affect
much because
anything.
we're the same height.
Yeah, it's not really going to do that much. Someone else said recording the entire thing. We have touched upon that already, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it is the difference. Like, you don't want to live through your phone. You should be allowed to record things. But if, like, for instance, you and all you could see the whole time is just a phone in front of you like that, then that isn't fair.
I think
so it is a red
how
flag.
much you're recording. Don't record the whole song solidly.
Yeah.
Don't record too high up.
Yeah.
Which I know sometimes you have to, and I'm not saying don't ever do it, because Lord knows we've done it.
Yeah.
However, I think how much you're recording, you have to think about other people. Like at Loyal Kana, these girls were recording everything.
Like right in front of us.
Everything, and they were holding it high up so we couldn't see anything.
It's also really difficult because the people at the front doing that will create a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
So if the people that can record from eye level
So
will record,
Harry.
slightly higher, the people behind have to record slightly higher to get over your phone, and eventually people have to extend their full arms to see anything.
Harry, I was there like.
And it's also like, at Boy Genius, it was at Kingston when Phoebe Bridgers were like, do none of you have like, or who has AirDrop? Can you just AirDrop? Because it's creating this knock-on effect.
Yeah.
Like, can one person just record it and just send it to the rest of you? Like, someone with a good view.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets this good view video. Obviously, that's so easier said than done.
Never gonna happen. However.
But in theory, that's a really good idea, Phoebe. Thank you.
It's unrealistic to say don't film.
Yeah.
Don't live through your phone.
Just being mindful, isn't it?
Be mindful of what you're actually gonna watch. And if it is your favourite song ever, and it's your best friend's favourite song, and they can't be there, record the whole thing. Don't record, like, you don't actually need to have Loyal Kana's entire set in your phone camera roll from the nosebleeds.
It's really difficult because if you know in your heart you're going to look back at them. Some of the shows I will look back at fondly forever. Some, when it gets around to the next concert and I need to clear up storage, I know which one's the first to go. I do that so often and it looks so brutal. I'm like, goodbye,
it's so scary to
artist.
me.
And I get rid of the entire concert and I'm like, well, I could have just not filmed it, couldn't I? This one is so, like, controversial. And I wish I asked them to send a voice note explaining. And they just didn't. And I'm like, you know what, respect. Someone said not knowing the songs. That's so... I don't know which way I fall on that.
It depends. If you're disrespectful about not knowing the song. I feel like this goes for a lot of things. If you're disrespectful about it. If Harry's doing Boyfriends... Sorry, I keep saying Harry, it's because I can see him. If Harry's doing Boyfriends and you're like, I don't know this one, how was your weekend?
Yeah.
Like, just be respectful, just sit there and listen.
Well, it's like, I don't know, this is like a festival set, so it's kind of different. Majority of the time, if you've got tickets to see someone, you probably know a bit more than if you would see them at a festival. But when we were at Reading last year, we saw Pale Wave set, and I knew I liked their vibe, but I didn't know their songs like that. But I was just watching them and taking it in and enjoying it. Same with Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
I'm a loose fan. I like her vibe, but I don't know how far as much as you do.
You don't know the words.
Yeah, I absolutely don't. You could look at me and I'd just be there, like, nodding my head. And that's how you should be. If you don't know it, then just enjoy it.
Take it
I wouldn't be, like, on my phone. Well, you can be on your phone. Like, that's not necessarily disrespectful. I won't be playing things out loud or being like to you, like, what's next? When's the next one?
When's doing Because I Liked Boy?
Yeah, like, what time does this finish? What time can we get the train back? Like, I wouldn't do that because that's just, like, unnecessary. But I think you should be allowed to go to concerts if you don't know all of the songs. Like, I think you are just as entitled to go to a concert if you only know the 3 biggest songs, as opposed to, like, I don't think there should really be a test of, like, okay, name 5 unreleased songs before 2020 to be able to be allowed in. It was like
name their entire first EP.
Yeah, like, what's all of their government names? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily think you should have to be able to do that. I understand the viewpoint of like people who love them not being able to get tickets over people who don't know them like that, just like the vibe. But that's very like neither here nor there, because
likelihood is if someone's going and they don't know them, they're big enough
yeah,
for that to happen.
and they just got the ticket, so it's really difficult to be like they don't deserve it, because that one song they know might have really gotten through some hard times that you can't. It's not as like
I
black and
don't know
white.
every Inhaler song. I actually can tell you their full government names. However, Love Will Get You There is one of my favourite songs of all time.
Yeah.
And the songs I do know, I know really well.
We would drop so much money to see Maroon 5. She Will Be Loved is on my GOAT playlist. However,
I only care about songs about Jane.
yeah, like, why can't it be Eras? We can share a ticket with someone else. If Maroon 5 did Eras, we would be there for that era, and then we can swap out. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, like, are you saying that we don't deserve to be at a Maroon 5 concert?
Probably.
Oh, it kind of would be valid,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, in that, I understand.
Maybe this person's onto something.
It's difficult. In theory and in practice, it is different, because I understand in practice. Yeah.
And we'll be there like, she will be loved.
In practice, it is more annoying, but in theory, they don't deserve it less than you.
Yeah.
Someone said, yeah, talking all the way through a gig, they kind of like go hand in hand, screaming in my ear. Yeah.
Ah,
do you
so
really need to be screaming?
Do you need to be screaming full stop? Do a little woo.
Yeah.
You don't actually, like, this is one of my big things, and I'm aware that it's tied to fangirls, and I'm not attacking fangirls. You guys know how we feel about that. However, I am anti-screaming at concerts till I die. I don't understand how you're physically, like, looking at someone and making that noise. Why? It hurts your voice. It hurts my ears. I have hearing problems.
If you
And
scream,
if you're screaming, I'm going to be hearing that for 4 days.
If you scream, you also can't hear. If he's in front of you and you just scream and he's trying to talk and you are screaming, he can now hear screaming, but it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to look at that person screaming. And you never know, but the people next to you can now not hear, but you yourself cannot hear the experience of what is going on because you are screaming.
I'd like to speak to an artist about this.
Yeah. If you are, we could. if you're gonna scream, can you at least do it at a frequency that the humans can't hear? Like, I beg. Leave it to the dogs.
Like the under 18s. Yeah. No one else can.
We're too old. Just go a little bit, let it tune out for us, and we'll just hear like muffle and be like, something's going on in the like airwaves right now. Like, please.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of screaming. I had someone screaming in my ear a lot. Those girlies from behind us at Dominic 5 were screaming in my ears a lot. And I was like, you know what? Live your life.
Is it because that is not our natural response to things? So some people's natural response is squealing.
I don't think I ever was a squealer.
Yeah, because that's not our natural response. Like, I wonder if we spoke to someone that's like, yeah, I scream, like, because if I'm excited, that's just what comes out. It's really difficult. I could be excited and still have no express. I could possibly look disgusted, but be very, very happy and content in like what's going on. But my face could be like, ugh.
I don't know that's true.
Yeah. So
let us know if you scream at concerts. I'm really sorry that we just like dragged you through the mud, but please, it's a safe space. If you scream at concerts, text us.
Just why?
And just like speak your truth.
Is it because we are not like 16?
No, I never screamed.
No, not you, but some 16-year-olds. But then also some 16-year-olds could be like, why would I do that ever?
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone said peeing on the floor and screaming 24/7. I don't know.
I love the stories of Love on Tour with this.
Yeah, and like the
Go
nappies.
To the bathroom, babes.
Yeah.
You can do it.
This is just a piece of advice for anyone that the Eras tour who are wearing like nappies and stuff. More power to you, whatever. I'm not gonna judge you. But people were saying that before she does All Too Well, she does like a 7-minute intro. So there's your time to go to the bathroom. Like, I don't know, or
if the intro is included in the Eras tour film as well.
So true. Yeah. I think just go to the bathroom. Like, just don't give up your basic human rights. Especially if you have seats. A lot of these ones in America, you have seats.
They
Like,
all have seats.
you're not gonna
You're
lose
not gonna
your
lose your
spot
spot.
in the slightest. Surely there has to be a song that you. It's a 3-hour concert. There has to be something that you could probably go to the bathroom, right? Also, like, can you not just not go to the bathroom for 3 hours? What do you do when you sleep?
Yeah.
I don't know.
3 hours when I go into the bathroom when I'm at work.
That's very, we can say that because we are able to, some people can't.
Yeah.
But then they're probably not the people that are refusing to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's the people that can that are refusing. So, yeah, that is a red flag. I agree. Yelling things in intimate moments of the show, yeah, because there's a difference between, screaming when everyone's screaming, yelling, shouting, whatever, and, he's about to say something really, personal, and then you're being I don't know, something inappropriate, that's for sure. Someone else said, pushing an entire group of friends in front of others 5 minutes before the main act.
This was us on Friday!
Yeah. It's like when there's that small pocket of time before the act comes on that you really...
People have come through and they've had drinks before.
Yeah.
And they know what time the artist's on. And they're like, we'll just turn up and we'll just push.
Yeah. Oh, it's just, I don't know, we have spoke about pushing and stuff. I can't believe how entitled some people feel to be able to do that. I could never personally do it because there is the difference between.
You then stop. That's the weird. I've never done it in my life, and it must be so weird because you push and you're like, sorry, my friend's there, and then you just stop and you're like, just stop it. And then the people always just stand there and they're like.
And then you're never comfortable because you get to this point where you're not naturally supposed to be there because other people's natural positions are there.
Yeah.
And then you're all squashed up. And then how is that better? Why would you not rather be where you were a few rows back and then enjoy it from where you are with the freedom to dance? You shouldn't have to push to the front to enjoy a concert experience. And it's a red flag in itself if you believe that is the case. Why can't you enjoy it from further back?
Yeah.
And that's taken us time to get to. Maybe we were red flags. And we've learned from it a little bit. I don't know. We actually did get 3 minutes worth of voice notes from someone, so we're gonna play them for you. I'm not sure formatting wise. I'm gonna play them just out loud now, and if it all works, if it all works like that, then that's fine. If not,
just put Becky.
It will cut away into this for you because they had a lot to say. We've listened to the first minute, but then we were like, no, we kind of want to be surprised by this. Let's go.
Girls, the worst was wasn't even when I was working. I went to the 1975 when they played at Gorilla when they did the intimate showing back in February, and I won 2 tickets for it. It was 500 cap, and I won 2 tickets for it. And it was the fucking worst crowd I have ever been in. I took my little sister, and we were just vibing. 500 caps going to see 1975. Fuck me. You're not getting that. It was unreal. And everyone wanted a fucking interaction with the band, which I kind of understand. But everyone's shouting, screaming at them, trying to be the ones who they talk to in the crowd. And I'm for God's sake. And then they played It's Not Living If It's Not With You, all I do, that one. And I turned to my left. No one thinks you're quirky. No one thinks you're cute. Why the fuck are you on Candy Crush? 1975 are about 10 feet in front of you. No one thinks you're fucking special. So had that. And then all the band went off stage and Matty Healy was doing his gorgeous little acoustic number. I think he played Mine or something, which is oh, gorgeous tune. Whatever he played, cannot remember. People fucking talking. What are you doing? Why are you talking just because it's a slower song?
Yeah.
Have some respect.
Yeah.
Had that. Ones I've worked at, the guys who just hog the fucking barrier, you're just there all day. I had to go down and work into the pit for a few festivals this summer and I was looking after the photographers. And it was the same guys at the front. And they're obviously only there for the headline, which is fair enough. But we're trying to capture content at the front and they're just stood there because whichever artist is late is not the artist they're fucking waiting for. And I'm for God's sake, we had it with Maisie Peters at one of the festivals I worked. She was headlining, and it was the same people at the front all day, sat there, did not move, did not go and explore. And I'm you spent all this money on a festival, you go fucking work there, and you're not even gonna take the time to learn the other artists, or like pay attention to the other artists. And the amount of people they had to drag out when like the headliners actually came on because they hadn't eaten or drank all day, and to hand out water and like pull people out of the crowd. But it's so frustrating, and you've just got these like barrier hoggers, and there's just no need for it. And then when the headliners do come on, they spend the whole time glued on the phone just trying to get the best video to post on socials. Like, I've seen people uploading to TikTok, uploading to Twitter at the front because they want to be the first to do it, to just get the views. Like, what are you doing? No.
That's just summed up everything we spoke about, really.
I love the passion, the accent,
Yeah,
Candy Crush.
That would be me. I mean, it wouldn't, because I have like the brain capacity to watch someone.
Yeah.
But I think the idea of being a barrier at a festival is something we've not spoken about. And it's something that we've had. We've had it with people where we're like, you can be in front of us for this person, but can we be there for that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's do like a trade here, because there's no reason for you to be a barrier for someone you don't like in front of someone who does like them.
Yeah, and like, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it for the artist as well, because, you know, if like you're like one of the earlier ones on and like the 1975 are at the end of the night, like, they know that they're not going to have as big of like a turnout or whatever, but if you're there like stone faced because you're not even trying to like enjoy it, because all you're doing is waiting for Matty Healy to be in front of you, like, that's not fair on the other artists as well, which I know is more like festival based, but like I still agree with it. And I hadn't really considered, so this is obviously coming from someone who works at festivals, the fact that she's seen people uploading things on Barrier. Like, I can't believe that.
People have people like this listener who work at concerts and festivals to do that for you, right?
Yeah. God, I cannot believe that. I've never considered it. Like, the thing you do, like, the etiquette of it all is you go home, then you look through everything, see what's what.
Post a couple of things on TikTok.
The only thing that I understand about, like, live broadcasting when you are there is when people go Instagram live, for instance.
Someone Instagram live for that Gorillaz show.
Yeah, and we watched it and we were like, that's really nice that, like, because you are one of the lucky ones, you are letting other people be involved. Same with Frank Ocean at Coachella. I watched that. So many people watched that because Frank took away the broadcast. So, like, I get why you're doing that. But to just do it to be the first to have uploaded something, that is cringe. And, like, are you really enjoying the show? Or are you using it as content creation, views, engagement? I don't like that at all. That doesn't sit right with me. No. You know, we make content.
We go to festivals and we make content.
Yeah, we make it.
Say that there.
We make it. We get to go to things with the, you know, it's a two-way thing. We get to go to it for free and we make content. We would never stand there at the front of the crowd doing it as they're doing it. Like, that's crazy to me. And we are told to do that. But we will wait till we get back. We do our highlights reel at the end of the night, or we
go to a separate area to do it.
Yeah, or like we vlog and then we edit it after. We wouldn't do it like in front of, like, that's really disrespectful.
And it's so out of touch.
Yeah,
the whole point of a concert is that you're getting to see things live.
And you're in the moment, and like, it's so disrespectful to the artists that are like laying out everything they do and have created. Yeah, it's very like, they might have done it a million times, whatever, but every night it's still very vulnerable of them to be in front of you. Like, they have created these things for you to, like, take in because you are there and you've got a ticket. Not because you're using it just to, like, pump out videos on, like, TikTok, I imagine is going to be more, but she said
so you
Twitter
can get
as well.
From that person's art.
I really don't like that, because at the end of the day, like, it's never that deep. Like, you should be enjoying what you do.
Do you remember Beanie on Tour?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so Beanie on Tour, I think, stopped posted.
Really?
Stopped posting.
No, I actually understood what you meant both times.
Beanie on Tour stopped posting after Love on Tour because they were like, this account was for Love on Tour. I have all these followers now, but like, I mean, I might be butchering this. Okay. They were like, but I'm no longer on tour, so
interesting.
Why would I still it doesn't feel right to have this account.
Right.
Which is like,
yeah, I think that's what you were doing that for.
And it's like, that's the right thing to do. Is that you could have monetized off that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you easily could have set up like a Patreon where people have to pay to watch your live streams of Harry's shows, but instead you did it for free. Yeah. And now you're being like,
it served its purpose and now it's done.
Yeah, because
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, whereas I think people like that the listener was saying,
joining your level because I was looking really up at you.
Doing it so that they can get clout off these, but not in like a I'm gonna share it with people, but in like a I'm gonna see how many TikTok views I can get.
Yeah, like I want to be the one with the power of like
telling everyone what this person's wearing tonight. Like I want to
Yeah,
tell people what
or-
Maisie setlist is as they're doing it.
the Harry thing of like you had to be the first person to say what he was wearing because you know you get the most clout, and that's probably also not that this person was there. That they're saying a lot of like festival based and the 1975, but I imagine people on Barrier would be uploading on TikTok what he's wearing there that
People
second.
are always tweeting the set list of the 1975 as they're there.
Yeah.
So this is such a believable story for me.
Hmm.
Because they're always like, guys, they're doing somebody else.
Oh my god.
Babe, listen to it then.
Yeah, likely thing for them to do.
Yeah.
Overall, I love that whole voice note, by the way.
Yeah,
Like, the
thank you
passion in
so
there, just
much.
stunning. Thank
It's
you.
really nice to hear someone's voice and it's not ours.
Yeah. My ones have pretty much all been covered.
Yeah.
Oh, my other thing was throwing things at the artist. It's not funny. It's actually not. There's a difference between a soft hat and then something like hard that's not plush.
Also how we throw it.
Yeah, like why are you overarm throwing something?
That couple that pushed Dominic, I should have said this at the time, that couple that pushed in front of Dominic Fike, in front of
You're in front of him on the stage.
People that pushed to the front at Dominic Fike threw their boxer short brand at him, overarm throw, and he obviously then didn't interact because you just clearly pushed and you've clearly chucked it at him. And then they posted it on TikTok, and then I saw.
Well, it's like
so that's what you're associating yourselves with.
BB Rexa got something in her eye. Pink always gets weird, so I know there's a meme now, so I can't tell you what's real and what's not. There was like, are the ashes real? Is the cheese real? I don't know the difference anymore. But she was having weird things thrown at her, and it's like, why are you doing that? Like, what are you getting out of doing that? Like, if actual ashes are being thrown, that is so weird from the artist's perspective. Why should they get ashes of someone they don't care about? Like, I don't care if your grandma's favourite artist was Pink and their life dream was to be on stage with them. That doesn't mean that ashes should be.
Ask!
Yeah, for real. That's the one time for the sign. If Pink's like, it's sign time, can my ashes go on stage with you? Not mine.
Asking in advance.
You just want to be prepared for everyone. My other thing was, and this is really nitpicky. Is it judgmental? Yes, ever so slightly, because you are free to wear what you want at a concert. My just one thing is dressing like the artist. You can dress to the aesthetic of the artist, but and I don't know if we said this in part one, but drawing on the tattoos, the face tattoos of an artist.
One of his sister.
This is Dominic Fike. Yeah, he has a face tattoo for his sister, and people were like recreating that on their face. And I know it's all in jest, it's not meant to be harmful.
It's weird.
If someone showed up to a Blonde Vibrations event with all of my tattoos, I would find that really like, not even in an impersonation way, but like what lengths are you gonna go to?
Yeah,
like
crazy.
Like that is I wouldn't feel comfortable, but if you want to do that, I didn't tell you should. That's all.
Yeah. I think it's a bit far.
Yeah. And actually, we have one final question, but then I asked another mini question because I just couldn't stop myself. I just wanted to know. This one is very quick though. It's just how can it be improved as a general sense? My first thing that I wrote down was I don't know.
Yeah, same.
Because
there will always be annoying people. That's life, lol, is what I wrote.
Yeah, I said if there was a way to cut down queuing, to make it more chill, less of a, to say you've gone to something, make it less of a fashion show or a content creation type beat. However, I don't know the answer.
I think ultimately it's making concerts more chill.
Yeah, more chill and accessible. Yeah. But I
more
don't...
accessible heavily, because that means cutting down queuing time.
Yeah.
Camping.
And I think Taylor did get it right in the having seats in the pit, because then you have your seat and you can show up at whatever time and your seat will always be there. But then you can't always have just seats. That's not accessible in its own thing, because then it's less tickets, more competition. And I think one way to make it better would be to get rid of dynamic pricing. And I know we've not really dwelled on that at all.
Another episode.
Yeah. that is a whole other thing, but that in itself would make things better and less competitive and argumentative. I think people's general attitude needs to chill, and just, if you strip away social media, I think that's a good way of looking at it. If you strip away social media entirely from your experience, would you change anything about it? If you wouldn't, then that's fine. That's just how you naturally are. But if you're almost, this is going back to like living for social media, if all of the videos you take are to upload, you never look back on them, you just upload them, you get the views. All of your signs are just, again, to get the views, and you queue to get those better views, again, for the videos and everything. If all of that would be different, if like social media didn't exist, and you would just show up 10 minutes before, have a dance at the back, and then leave, like, that's how you should probably be doing it.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't really change anything else. And we make the content, but
Yeah.
if we weren't making that content for social media, we would still do everything the same, and that's how it should be, right?
Definitely.
And then finally, this was just a little one at the end,
Little bonus.
because we feel very strongly about this. Should we bring back physical tickets? Did you see the...
Yeah, just
Do you know the percentage?
no, but I could guess from that.
It was very high. 92% of people
I
said...
was going to say 98. I wouldn't bring mine anyway.
92% of people said, yes, bring back physical tickets, and 8% said no. I'm on the yes side, because nostalgia, and I love the physical
I'm
thing.
also on the yes, however I would lose them. The thought of them in the post.
Yeah, that's very, like, nerve-wracking, but then you would get them protected and
Queue
stuff.
for the box office.
Yeah. In theory,
I'd
yes.
like, you know how Banquet Records does the, like, gift ticket?
Yeah.
Where, like, it actually doesn't get you in the show, but it's a ticket.
Or,
and
like,
it says the show.
a PDF copy that looks like the one that you can print off, and then you can have that, even though I know some people
of them
want the
do,
card.
yeah.
But there is a difference, because the PDF ones a lot of the time are just QR code now, or they just have a picture and then QR code, but people like the way they look. However,
You can make them yourself quite easily.
yeah, but then should you have to when you used to be able to just get them? I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I think people would maybe say no because of the paper waste.
Yeah.
Like, that is the only bit that I'm like, yeah, we
It
have.
should be like an opt-in situation.
Yeah, and I think you can pay for them now. I think some people do have that. But if you're going on like an environmental perspective, like if we're going paperless, like, yeah, I understand it.
Yeah.
But for nostalgia purposes and everything, I do just love that. I still have my Hugh Jackman ticket at home. I love my Hugh Jackman ticket. I always look at it when I go home. I was looking at it last night when I was sat on my floor. Like, it just makes me feel happy to look at it and be like, yeah, I was at Hugh Jackman and I have my ticket to show for it.
Yeah.
Because that was a few phones past and I don't really have the videos from it anymore. But I have the ticket, and that's something
Yeah.
that will make me remember it forever. And that's all I have to say on the matter. Do you have anything else to
Yeah.
add?
I don't think so.
Well, this has been real
I feel like
nice.
there's always going to be more to say, but like, if you guys have more to say,
We can talk
tell
about
us.
it.
We can talk about this again.
It is
We've
never.
taken some time.
It is never ending. Although this is the end of the parts that we've created for this, we can still bring it back up.
Yeah.
It's not like the end of the topic.
No, absolutely not. And we will always have more experiences. Maybe like once you guys feel more comfortable with the whole sending in a voice note situation, we can start hearing like your own experience at a concert.
Yeah.
Like, I went to this show, this happened, this is what I did. And we can see what we would do. That would be fun.
Yeah, less of like a deep dive and more of just a general, like, this
Almost
is
like
what.
an agony aunt, but like we're just all hearing each other out on our experiences.
Yeah, I would love that. And again, Manny, if you are listening, you have been called out. And we would like to discuss. It could be anyone really, but I just know.
You're also called Manny.
Yeah, some Manny in like another country that's never been to a concert in his life. He's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable like talking about the gender difference at concerts. I've never been to one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for listening.
Thanks, guys. Oh my god, I need to go have a coffee. That was like a lot. I've got one down there. I just didn't drink it.
If this is in 2 parts, don't worry about it because I recognise that this is a very long section. So it could be 1, could be 2.
No, it'll be one.
We'll see. Anyway, thank you. If you want to head over to our Instagram, it's blonde_vibrations, and it will basically just have everything you ever want. Wherever you are watching, listening, can you subscribe, download, follow, rate us 5 stars? Who are we sending this to?
Your favourite artist.
And also your least favourite artist. Don't tell them which one it is.
Mm.
Be like, I've sent this to my most and least favourite artist. You can decide which one you think you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much.
And don't then tell them that they're your least favourite artist, because that's really mean.
Obviously not. Never let them know.
Like,
Keep
let
it-
them live in, like, suspense that they could have been your favourite.
Keep it playful, keep it ambiguous.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys!
Goodbye. Love ya.
Bye!
See ya. Oh wait, do the heart the other side.
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh.
Someone make edits of us.
Bye.
Bye, guys.